Now the last stage. Last stage is 3 to 5 years old. 5 years old baby is a fully grown baby. So post-telegraphic means after this messaging, because the child has to convey his needs, right? So whatever words he grabbed, he has to put the same word in his sentences. So now we are talking about the continuing development, how he is going into the phase of full-fledged language. Okay, language development continues rapidly during this stage along with cognitive and social development. What is cognitive? What is cognition? Yes, it is related to the brain. Stage, the child's cognition and the social interaction develops. As a child interacts with others in the world, continues to broaden. For example, if I'm living all alone, I have no interaction with the outside world. And if I'm talking to you, but if you share something, I must have something from the outside world. So it means it is increasing my knowledge. So this is social interaction. And cognitive, when I listen to you, when I listen to your different ideas, I develop, my brain develops as well. My brain starts thinking about some other things as well. So this is how the child language developing. The following features of language develop at great speed here. This is the 3 to 5, and that's why it is always said that 3 to 5 years old baby is a grown child. Means before 5 years or 1 to 5 years, this is the period which is a crucial time. I mean, you can teach anything to that baby, to that child of 1 to 5 years old. After 5 years old, yes, children learn, but the thing is, it is their will involved there. But these 5 years, it's a golden period, golden era. So you can teach any language. Even a child from 1 to 5 years old, he can learn at least 20 languages, because this is such time you can teach and they learn. They are open to learning. But after 5 years old, they have their own individuality. And that is the period that the things get tougher. That's why when at this age now, if you start learning the verses from the Holy Quran, it will be difficult for you, because you want to understand them now. This is the stage, this is the age you want to understand. Instead, you are just memorizing things. That is why we, at the age of till the age of 7 or 10, you used to memorize things, and you were so good at that. But right now, if you start memorizing, it is difficult for you, because now you have your own individuality, and your individuality says, I don't want to memorize, I want to understand. Okay, so the following features of language develops at great speed. Connecting words, number of words, means they improve these things now. Words connected with emotions, family terms, colors, contrasting concepts. So this broadening of vocabulary include distinguishing hypernym and hyponym. What do you mean by hypernym and hyponym? We are classifying things, we are categorizing things, right? Hypernyms and hyponyms, the similar thing, but hypernym means you are categorizing things. For example, this is my mobile, I just put this mobile in the mobiles category. And when I talk about the book is a stationary item. It is not a gadget. So book goes under stationary items. So this is hypernyms. You are classifying things. Milk is a liquid, so juice is a liquid. We're putting it in the liquid forms, right? This is classifying the things, the objects that are in front of you. But when I talk about hyponyms, hyponym means under this category, what comes next? For example, if I say liquid, I have many things in the liquid. I have Coke in the liquid. I have Pepsi. I have milk. I have water. I have juice. So this is hyponyms. Hyper means the basic categories, how you categorize things. So you can say hypernym means main category. Hypo means subcategories. Main and the subheadings. Heading and the subheadings, right? So this broadening of vocabulary includes and distinguishes hypernyms. Words for categories of things means you're categorizing things. For example, This is an animal, this is a vegetable, you categorize. At this age, children's categorize. So within the categories means animals is a cat, animal, hamster is an animal. Then vegetable means carrot, vegetable means cabbage. So he knows this identification of the objects. Young children learn thousands of new words by listening to parents, siblings, and other family members and guessing meaning from context. With a wider social network, including attending play group and listening to stories, children of this age understand many more words than they say. They begin to use longer words at this stage, often words of 3 or more syllables. Elephant. Now you see they're increasing this polysyllabic words now. They are using polysyllabic words. Elephant, elephant, and then elephant, okay, and helicopter, helicopter, tree. They often take great delight in saying new and complicated words. Between the inflection means this is the ending, right? So we need some endings here. For example, if I say cutting, going, so ing, this ing is your inflection. We are saying here in past tenses. Past tenses means walked, talked, okay, are added as well as plurals. Plurals, for example, boys run. Children make virtuous errors. Virtuous errors is very important for your analysis in exams. So remember this thing because there are speeches full of virtuous errors. So you can code this virtuous errors there. When children make a mistake by overgeneralizing, it is again overgeneralizing by the grammar. I told you earlier as well, that is what is overgeneralization, overextension. It is same now that you are overgeneralizing the grammar rules or over-applying grammatical rules to an unknown word. For example, I run. It is basically done with everyone. Even sometimes we at this age put the wrong thing there. So what happened? We can't say, and in the children and the primary students, this mistake is a lot. This is called virtuous error. That why do you call this error not a mistake? Why? But error is you don't know whether I'm putting, because your brain doesn't know what kind of rule applies here. So it is virtuous error. So children, what they do? Children make virtuous errors, applying regular grammatical endings to words with their irregular verbs. For example, run, because they have learned walk, walked, talk, talked. So they feel that run as well. They don't know that there are different types of regular verbs and regular forms and the irregular form. They're not at this stage learning this difference. So they say run, mouses. They don't know that mouse is mice because they understand this rule that cows, houses, books. So they feel that only putting es there. Gold, they don't know that go is went, it's a different one. So swim, they don't know the swim is swam, not swimmed. So went, they don't know go, went. So they write wented there. So this is a common mistake in the grammar while learning grammar. So this is called virtuous error. I think it's a Jan Barko, whatever you pronounce, like 1958. To show the application of grammatical rules by children, young children were shown a picture of an imaginary creature. Okay, they were shown only an imaginary picture. It was not a real picture, which Barko called, Barko was the name of the person, the scientist. So he called it a wug. For example, if I have something in imaginations, I bring it, I put this in on a piece of paper and I call it a wug. Wug is a name given by me. Clearly, the children had not heard this name before. Definitely, you have not heard this wug name before. When they were shown a picture of two of the creatures, children were asked to complete the sentence. There are two dash. So they wrote wugs. They applied the grammatical principles of adding s, plural, and replied wug. Okay, what they did, they just make an imaginary picture, a thing, and given to the children. And if there is one, they said wug. If there are two, what would they say? They said wugs, only applying the same grammatical rule, putting s with the plurals, if more than one. Children between the 3 and 5 become more fluent, can handle greater vocabulary requirements, and are increasingly able to talk appropriately in different situations, such as family and playgroup. By this age, they are using question forms. Can I have one? Okay, at this stage, now 3 to 5 age, they are making questions as well. They're forming questions. Negation, he doesn't want one. They are now able to use auxiliary. What is auxiliary verb? Those verbs that starts with the is, am, are, might, can, modal verbs. These are think possibilities which show possibilities, all the verbs. Do is the first to appear, followed by can and will. Children may duplicate modal verbs. See, it is coming again and again. So you must be clear about these things, that what are these verbs, the different verbs. Auxiliary verbs starting with do, is, am, are. And modal verbs, that is may, might, should, can. These are the modal verbs. Please, may, can I, which might reflect an understanding that may is required for manners, which can indicates the effect of being able to do something. By this stage, children can handle more complex utterances with two or more, with two or more parts. By the age of 3, children understand that words often have more than one meaning, and although they have inevitably mixed things up, their fluency is increasing. Oscar, age 3, and his mother have been playing a game. This is a conversation that followed. Oscar, boy, Mummy, I win. Look at this dialogue going on. Mother, no, you won. Oscar, I win, Mummy. No, Oscar, you won. I not won, I 3. Do you understand? And I feel the mummy is the silly person. Why? Because baby, I win. If mummy, I win. If somebody is saying, is using virtuous error here, it doesn't mean that we are making him, we are correcting him there on the spot. Things should be in a different way. For example, you say, Madam, I win. I say, oh, you won. I will not say, no, you won. It means the mummy is quite authoritative here, that she is teaching the baby the grammatical rule in such a strict way that no, you won. What is this? It means he is age 3 years old baby. So you just tell him something without making it explicit. So you say, oh, you won. So then he say, yes, I won. Means when mother says, no, you won. And he said, I win the mummy. He's making mommy understand that you win, not won. So when mother is insisting, no, Oscar, you won. I not won, I 3. Then trying to fill that gap up. He said, no, I'm not 1, 2, 3. I not won, I 3. Means he's telling that age, that I'm 3 years old. I'm not 1 year old. So see how things gets complicated for a child. So I think she's not a good mom here. Okay, this mix up of homophones, words which sound the same, homophones, there's 1, 1. So show Oscar's understanding of the words which sound the same, 1, 1, but he doesn't grasp that they have different meaning. Children start to understand idioms, expressions with non-literal meaning. For example, in English, the idiomatic phrase, you're pulling my leg, has nothing to do with the legs. You're pulling my legs means, you're pulling my legs, have nothing to do with the leg means you're teasing me. This understanding of idiomatic expressive language starts at around 3 years, but is not fully learned until much later in the child's life. But now you will be aware that the period from 3 to 5 is a time of massive learning, right? So this time from 3 to 5 is a massive learning and consolidation for children, young children. And they are understanding, they are learning. Consolidation means they are applying the rules, that they are seeing what is best, what is not best. The delight in chatter asks lots of questions, and outsiders can follow what they are saying. The conversation is generally clear in spite of errors with more complex structures. At any time from infancy onwards, young children are likely to experience the wider world in the form of the preschool or the nursery education.